No, you do.
Oh, I do. Okay. All right, we'll get this. The music you just heard is your invitation to settle in and prepare for our worship service today. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you're from, whomever you love, and wherever you are on life's journey, you're welcome here. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Now, whether you're here in the sanctuary or watching from home, we're glad you could be with us. My name's Woody Hepburn. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm honored to serve today as your lay leader. I've been a member here for about 6 years, and I really feel like we've found the right home. San Gabriel is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. We're a movement working for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. Sustaining each other here in this community is one part of that work.
Good morning. I'm Eric Hepburn. I'm your pulpiteer. I'm honored to serve as such. I'm in mourning today. I know it's serious because I hate clothes shopping. But I spent several hours this week adding a lot of black to my wardrobe so that I could stay in mourning as long as I need to. As I warned those of you who came on Wednesday night, if we don't do our mourning work, it tends to metastasize into fear and anger and hatred. Please join me in reciting the words to light our chalice. We light this flame to remind us love is the center.
As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away,
love remains. Let us greet this day in song. Our opening hymn is "We Are a Gentle, Angry People." We will sing all 5 verses. Oh, you got the joke. I love that. I love that. It is not the one that's in the hymnal. These are the modified lyrics. They're going to be projected up there. Please rise and body your spirit as you're able.
something really quick. The history of that song is important. It was around maybe the 1980s, correct me if I'm wrong, when the gay and lesbian movement was happening and people were feeling trodden upon, and a female wrote that song about it. We were gentle, but we're angry for a cause.
Oh, just a reminder, I forgot to do this at the beginning. If you are on the San Gabriel Wi-Fi, please put your phone in airplane mode. Make sure we have enough bandwidth to keep the stream going to our friends watching at home. As Michelle said, that song's been modified a few times. I wonder if we might mature out of the angry part of it. Well, we'll preach about that on another day. Sometimes we're carrying something on our heart that can prevent us from being fully present. Here in this community, the sharing of these things with each other is medicine, and it is part of our healing journey. Like all good medicine, it must be concentrated and potent, so I ask that you aim at 3 strong sentences. So if you are carrying a joy or a sorrow or both on your heart, I invite you to share. In this time, while one of us is practicing the vulnerability of praise or grief, the rest of us are practicing the gifts of presence and deep listening. Please raise your hand for the microphone. Thank you for sharing. And for all that remains unspoken, the love of this community is with you. It's time for our Wonder Box. I have a new volunteer, June. Would you do me the honors and bring me the Wonder Box? Thank you so much. All right. Now, inside the Wonder Box, there's an object, but there's also a written clue, and we're trying to guess a word. This week's clue is, it's a good thing to have in your pocket, or your purse, or your bag. You know, when you're sad. Any guesses? Handkerchief. Oh, handkerchief. You guys are too smart. Or I'm writing clues that are too easy. A handkerchief. Now, this is a special handkerchief. This handkerchief belonged to my great uncle. He was a man who carried a red handkerchief every day of his life, and he died 1.5 years ago. And when I went to his funeral, his wife, my great aunt, gave me one of his handkerchiefs from his collection that he used every day. He was 84. All right. Well, let's hear a story about a friend who might need a hanky.
My Friend is Sad, an Elephant and Piggy book by Mo Willems. Oh. My friend is sad. I will make him happy. Yeehaw! A cowboy. Ta-dum, 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 ta-dum. Oh. Gerald loves cowboys, but he is still sad. Hmm? A clown. Oh. Clowns are funny, but he is still sad. A robot. How can anyone be sad around a robot? Oh. Gerald! Piggy! I am sorry. I wanted to make you happy, but you are still sad. I am not sad now. I am happy. You are happy? I am happy because you are here. But I was so sad, Piggy. So very sad. I saw a cowboy. But you love cowboys. I do love cowboys, but you were not there to see them. Well, in fact, there was more. Then I saw a clown, a funny, funny clown. But you were not there to see him. But there was more. I saw a robot, a cool, cool robot. And my best friend was not there to see it with me. But, you see, I am here now. You are here now. My friend is here now. The end.
All children and youth wishing to go to their groups are welcome to exit. Everyone else, will you please join me in singing them out? We have a special treat for our anthem this week. Sarah and John Smith singing Down by the River, accompanied by Chuck Collins on drums.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who will wear the robe and crown, good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who will bear the cup and blade, Goddess, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about those good old ways, and how we light the chalice today, you will find our way. Oh, siblings, let's go down, come on down. Oh, siblings, let's go down in the river to pray.
I invite you to a place of deeper stillness and reflection with a reading from our board read this year. Brianna Brown's book, Dare to Lead. The Stockdale Paradox was named after Admiral Jim Stockdale, who spent 8 years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. He was tortured more than 20 times during his imprisonment from 1965 to 1963. In addition to fighting to stay alive, he worked every day to help the other prisoners survive the physical and emotional torment. In an interview, Jim Collins asked him, "Who didn't make it out?" Stockdale replied, "Oh, that's easy. The optimists." Stockdale explained that the optimists would believe that they'd be out by Christmas, and Christmas would come and go. Then they'd believe they'd be out by Easter, and that date would come and go. And the years would tick by like that. He explained to Collins they died of a broken heart. Stockdale told Collins, "This is a very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they might be."
You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality. Now that's interesting to me. There are two competing versions of optimism in this little passage, and I want to tease them out a little bit and see if it might help us light our way onto the path that we need to find for healing in this moment, for grieving in this moment. Now, first we'll start with the version of optimism that I think Stockdale rightly criticizes. Telling yourself untrue yet comforting stories as a method for trying to get through a difficult moment. Oh, this will be over by Christmas. And then it's not over by Christmas. Oh, this will be over by Easter. And then it's not over by Easter. Right? So this is one version of optimism, which I think Stockdale rightly criticizes. But deeply embedded in his use of the word faith is another kind of optimism, isn't it? Faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose. Faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, strikes me as a pretty good definition of a grounded kind of optimism. A kind of optimism that has to be grounded in true stories, not stories that are just a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. So that's what I'm going to try to offer you this morning. What I'm about to share with you comes from the Haudenosaunee, also known as the Iroquois people. For those of you who might have some concerns, I'll share with you the words of Onondaga faithkeeper Oren Lyons. This Thanksgiving address is supposed to be shared. Otherwise, how can it work? We've been waiting for 500 years for people to listen. If they'd understood the Thanksgiving, then we wouldn't be in this mess. So for anyone concerned that we're inappropriately appropriating something, I want to share with you that the creators of this wisdom were capacious enough to know that the medicine needed to be shared. So this is how this first part of our service today is going to work. I'm going to read a passage. After I read that passage, I will put my finger in the air, and this is your response. Are you ready? It's very simple, and you're going to do it over and over again. Now our minds are one. Repeat after me. Now our minds are one. You got it. This is known as the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving Address. They begin it by calling it the words that come before all else. Today we have gathered, and when we look upon the faces around us, we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living beings. So now we bring our minds together as one as we give our greetings and our thanks to each other as people. We are thankful to our mother, the earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk about upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our mother, we send thanksgiving, love, and respect. We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst, providing us with strength, and nurturing life for all beings. Water is life. We know its power comes in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans, snow and ice. We are grateful that the waters are still here and meeting their responsibility to bring life to all creation. With one mind, we send our greetings and our thanks to the Spirit of water. We turn our minds to all the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. We are grateful that they continue to do their duties and that we can still find pure water. So we send to the fish our greetings and our thanks. Now we turn towards the vast field of plants. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give our thanks and look forward to seeing plant life continue for many generations to come. When we look about us, we see that the berries are still here, providing us with delicious foods. The leader of the berries is the strawberry, the first to ripen in the spring. Can we agree that we are grateful that the berries are with us in this world and send our thanksgiving, love, and respect to the berries? With one mind, we turn to honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden, who feed us with such abundance. Since the beginning of time, grains, vegetables, beans, and fruit have helped the people survive. Many other living beings draw strength from them as well. We gather together in our minds all the plant foods and send them our greetings and our thanks. Now we turn to all the medicine plants in the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy that they are still among us, those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send thanksgiving, love, and respect to the medicines and to the keepers of the medicines. We gather our minds together and send our greetings and our thanks to the animal life in this world who walk about with us. They have many things to teach us as people. We are grateful that they continue to share their lives with us and pray that it will always be so. Let us put our minds together as one and send our thanks to the animals. We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has so many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. The maple is the leader of the trees, to recognize its gift of sugar to the people when they need it most. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and our thanks to the tree of life. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them the gift of beautiful songs. Each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader and to watch over the world. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and our thanks. We are all thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and our thanks to the four winds. Now we turn to the west, where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the water that renews life. We bring our minds together as one to send our greetings and our thanks to our grandfathers, the thunderers. We send our greetings and our thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send our greetings and our thanks to our brother, the sun. We put our minds together and give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send our greetings and our thanks to our grandmother, the moon. We give our thanks to the stars who are spreading across the sky like jewels. We see them at night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the gardens and growing beings. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds together, gathered as one, we send our greetings and our thanks to the stars. We gather our minds together and greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help us throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send our greetings and our thanks to these caring teachers. I want you to be honest. You can have this. I want you to be honest and raise your hand if you thought that went on a little too long. What a tragedy. What a tragedy that we are so blessed we get bored counting the blessings. I just want you to imagine for a minute what it might be like if we read that instead of the Pledge of Allegiance every morning at school. What if our allegiance was to that which gives us life, not to the egotistical creations of our own collectives? What might that mean? I looked over the board that we made on Wednesday night of the things that people were grieving. And if they have a root system, if there's a fungal mass under the floor of our forest of grief in this moment. It is our failure to connect with nature and each other in the way that we live every day. So I found my solace this week in a book that I know you guys already have a congregational read this year, but we're now in extraordinary circumstances. And if you haven't read Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, I strongly suggest you make time to do so. I'm going to share the idea of the Haudenosaunee blessing came from it. I'm going to share with you a little bit more about it. I'm going to begin here with something that might strike you at first as a simple scientific oddity. Lichen is not a species. Lichen is an intermarriage of a species of algae and a species of fungus that live in symbiosis. Now you see, the algae knows how to make energy out of sunlight, but it simply can't harvest the minerals from hard rock. Now, fungus, on the other hand, relies on other things for the production of energy that it consumes, but it knows very well how to squeeze the nutrients out of raw and hard rock. It also knows something else that the algae doesn't know. It knows how to gather and collect and retain moisture, something the algae can't do by itself, which is why most of the forms of algae that you're used to live on and in the water. But these forms of algae live on and in and intertwined with the fungus. The fungus provides the moisture and the nutrients, and the algae provides the capacity for turning sunlight into energy. Let me share with you a passage from the book. Now, scientists got interested in how the marriage of alga and fungus occurs, so they've tried to identify the factors that induce the two species to live as one. But when researchers put the two together in the laboratory and provided them with ideal conditions for both the algae and the fungus, they gave each other the cold shoulder and proceeded to live separate lives in the same culture dish, like the most platonic of roommates. The scientists were puzzled and began to tinker with the habitat, altering one factor then another, but still no lichen. It was only when they severely curtailed the resources, when they created harsh and stressful conditions, that the two would turn toward each other and begin to cooperate. Only with severe need did the hyphae curl around the algae. Only when the algae was stressed did it welcome the advances. When times are easy and there's plenty to go around, individual species can go it alone. But when the conditions are harsh and life is tenuous, it takes a team sworn to reciprocity to keep life going forward. In a world of scarcity, interconnection and mutual aid become critical for survival. So say the lichens. Now, when I was sitting in the woods, listening to the audiobook of this book, and that passage happened, I began to weep because I believed I knew what you needed to hear this morning. I know how dire it feels. That's not lost on me. But I want you to pause for a moment and think about how miraculous it is that Dick Cheney is on our side. One of the reasons that we're grieving is not just because we're going through another chapter of liberal versus conservative and I'm using that in the American political, not scientific, psychological term of use of those terms. This isn't just another chapter of Republican versus Democrat. The thing that we're grieving is that the least healthy wing of the Republican Party is in power. The least healthy. This is why the fear of disease is among us. It is not unearned, it's not unwarranted, it's not a pejorative, it's not derisive on my part. It's just acknowledging that some serious immaturity, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, is part of what's happening in this moment. It's why the moment is so deeply frightening. But maybe the lichen are here to be our teachers. Maybe this is a moment where the rebirth of a movement that joins healthy conservatism and healthy liberalism together in a balanced way of moving forward. And in that context, I do not mean the political versions of those words. I mean the psychological versions. For those of you who haven't heard me preach on this before, let me refresh your memory very quickly. Liberals are gas pedal people. Charge ahead, let's do this, change that stuff. Conservatives are brake pedal people. Don't move so fast, you're going to crash the car. Now, you can't drive even very fast without both kinds of people on your crew. Those of you who have worked in complex, large organizations know this. You get a team that's all gas pedal people, they're going to crash. You've got to have some brake pedal people on your team to make the whole thing work. So, how can we become a community where healthy liberals and healthy conservatives can be together, charting a course that's got just the right amount of gas pedal and just the right amount of brake pedal and some wisdom doing the steering? It is a dark moment, I will not lie. But as I preached on Wednesday, the dark forest is never the same the second time around, because we're not the same. The lichen in a single body unites the two great pathways of life. The so-called grazing food chain based on the building up of beings, and the detrital food chain based on taking them apart. Producers and decomposers, the light and the darkness, the givers and receivers wrapped in each other's arms. The warp and weft of the same blanket, so closely woven that it's impossible to discern the giving from the taking. Some of Earth's oldest beings, lichens, are born from reciprocity. Our elders share the teachings that these rock and glacial erratics are the oldest grandfathers, the carriers of prophecy, and our teachers. Sometimes I go sit among them, the proverbial navel gazer at the belly button of the world. I know we grew up. I'm going to just thank you all for accommodating my switching microphones every 5 seconds. We grew up in a colonialist culture that dismisses ancient wisdom that's not biblical. Can I get an amen? All right. If we want to grow past colonialism, we have to acknowledge that there is deep wisdom from every group of our siblings who have lived everywhere on the planet, that they have things to teach us, that it doesn't only go one direction. And Mother Earth has things to teach us. Every species of plant and animal on this world in this world, of this world, has found secrets we have yet to discover about what it is that makes life thrive. But we are so in love with our own exceptionalism. But I want you to see this. I want you to see this. When I'm inviting you out of that exceptionalism, I want you to see that the belief in superiority and exceptionalism is the heart of the unhealthiness that we were just speaking of a moment ago. The very heart of that disease which frightens us terribly. The disease that allows our recognition of which allows us to know that they're not healthy. That the roots of that disease are in colonialist and superiorist modes of thinking and believing. I know the truth. Nobody else knows the truth. Because we are the holders of the truth, we're better than everybody else. And sometimes that truth they think they believe in also includes things like race and gender and sexual orientation, ethnic background, a whole bunch of other stuff gets wrapped up in there. However, I can make up a story where I'm on top, I like that story the best. Ta-Nehisi Coates called it the dream. I'm inviting us to wake up from the dream. I'm inviting us to reclaim woke as a sign that we are willing to face hard truths, not as an epithet that we're going to accept as a derogatory. Because that's what this is. Nope, I like the dream, let's go back to sleep. I like the dream. Can we just keep dreaming? And can we continue to pretend that our dream isn't at the expense of somebody else's nightmare? See, that's what Stockdale warned about, isn't it? An untrue story used as a salve. An untrue story used as a salve to make you feel better is the wrong kind of optimism. It's the kind that will break your heart in the wrong way. There is a pathway choice here. This moment is traumatic for many. Maybe you're in that inside that circle, maybe you're outside of it. But when trauma happens in our lives, it either metastasizes into post-traumatic stress disorder or it gets metabolized into post-traumatic growth. And your agency matters in that alchemical production. What you choose, how you choose to show up, where you put your energy and your attention, those are all factors that matter in how that progresses in your life. The specific type of lichen that Robin Wall Kimmerer studies in this chapter is called umbilicaria, also known as rock tripe, oak leaf lichen, and navel lichen. In Asia, it's known by another name, the ear of stone. I imagine them listening to the wind, to a hermit thrush, to thunder, to our wildly growing hunger. Ear of stone, will you hear our anguish when we understand what we have done? The harsh post-glacial world in which you began may well become our own unless we listen to the wisdom carried in the mutualistic marriage of your bodies. Redemption lives in knowing that you might also hear our hymns of joy when we too marry ourselves to the earth.
We take an offering each week to sustain this spiritual home and to support the work of our fellowship. And if you're visiting, we invite you to fill out a visitor's card, which you can place in the plate or return to the visitor's table in the back. For offertory music today, we have Thy Word by Amy Grant, performed by Gene Olson. The offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you.
Sometimes we're called to add our voice to the chorus. Sometimes we're called to speak aloud the message resonating in our own hearts. If you're called to reflect, express gratitude, or share an announcement, please raise your hand for the microphone.
Good morning. I'm going to raise up gratitude for Bill and Molly's grandchildren who are here today, because when we look at those sweet faces, there's hope. And that's what we're here for, to make sure that the world is ready and better for them.
Wait, will you keep the microphone with her for a minute? Michelle, will you remind everybody what's going on after church today? Yeah, go ahead and do that now. Thank you.
I'll step forward. So today we are going to memorialize those who have been harmed, killed, or committed suicide by a firearm, gun violence. It's a tough issue. The program is called Vidas Robadas, Stolen Lives. Why are we doing that? We want to raise awareness in our community. We know that some people are hurting. We want them to know that we are here to support them. They are not forgotten. And so by doing that, we hope that folks in our community, as we create this t-shirt installation and display in our front yard, will stop and read the signs, read the data, what's going on. So those of you who are interested in joining us after church today, tables are set up inside and outside for you to create a t-shirt in memory of someone. The white shirts that you see will not have any names or information on them. Those are remembering folks who have committed suicide with a firearm. Folks, 87,000 veterans in our United States in a 2-year period of time committed suicide with a gun. We need to do something, and we believe that there are ways that we can encourage gun violence reduction. So I hope you'll join us in this activity. Now, I know some of you are still grieving with what went on this week. So for those not ready to take on that kind of project, you may have received a handout with some information for you today. There's a postcard there. When you're ready, write your legislators what your feelings are on this issue. You'll also see a little green business card attached to that. And it's for you to pass on to somebody, a potential voter, to say, do you care about saving lives? Well, maybe you could use your vote in some way to do so. So slip that little card on a dining table when you're out at a restaurant or a store clerk at HEB. That's your way of taking action, very quietly, very subtly, so you don't have to be in somebody's face to do so. So that's your call to action in many ways if you feel ready to take on some part of this activity. And we will join after you have your snack and drink. Come join us in the back of church. We'll explain how we're doing this t-shirt display, which will be mounted then outside, and we'll have a light lunch after that. Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
I have a gratitude to share. The last 3 nights I was over at Eastview helping with the theater program, and you don't think about theater much if you're not involved, but they had so much support from the booster parents, from the teachers and faculty, and so many sold-out shows of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and the place was packed every single night, and it's great to have such community support for these kids. Thank you.
I probably don't need the microphone. Well, you need it so the people at home can hear, Billy.
Oh, okay. Sorry for the...
You play the game now.
Well, I just had to say, for some of us who've been members for a long time, it was such a delight to see Sarah's son, John, today. We remember him when he was like 8, 10, 12, 7, 6, 11, and then after that, Sarah did a lot of work with the kids, keeping them involved. And so Marcia and I were saying, wow, that's John. Congratulations, Sarah.
Pumpkin pie, green salad, green bean casserole, what's not to love. The Sunday before Thanksgiving, we will have tables set up in here, and we'll be having a Thanksgiving potluck right after the service. Please sign up. Just give a guess of what you want to bring, and we'll be ready for you. Thanks. That's yours. Yeah.
Anyone else?
All right, I've got 2 of my own then. So we will be having a follow-up. The Wednesday after the election, we got together, and we're going to do it again in 2 weeks from that Wednesday. So on November 20th, we will have another 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Wednesday gathering. Right now, it has the back of the napkin title, Grieving Part 2. So I've got some wonderful folks who do both family systems therapy and men's work who are going to collaborate with me on the next phase of this. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like yet, but we know that not only this church, but people in the larger community need this. So we're going to be doing that on November 20th, Wednesday evening from 6 to 8. It'll be in the Messenger. I also have to change my pitch here. So for the last 2 weeks, I've gotten up here and I've asked if we have a volunteer to lead a spring RE program. And we don't have such a volunteer yet. So we're changing channels. I'm looking for a donor or a group of people who are willing to get together and combine to make a donation of about $5,000 to hire someone to be our spring RE lead. So I know amongst us we have different ways of giving, different skills, different availability of resources. So we tried the do we have a volunteer path to this? And we don't, and that's okay. This is the second path. This second path is if you are the kind of family who has extra resources in the money scheme, but not necessarily the skills or ability to show up and lead a children's thing, I'd like you to talk. If you don't need any help, you just send me a note and say, I got you, and we'll get moving on hiring somebody. If you need to get together with a group of friends and 5 families do $1,000 each to make this happen, then you'll have my blessing. So, I'm going to keep making this ploy until I got $5,000. So if you want to not hear it again, you know what you have to do this week. All right. Do you have any questions on that? Comments?
Do we need to clarify that Spoon is going to continue on others? You're just looking for
Yes. This what we're doing is in conversation with Mr. Spoon. He has agreed to be the lead for this semester. He will continue to be involved. But being the lead is a lot of work, and we need some fresh blood on that front for the spring. And that decision was made in conversation between our RE folks, including Mr. Spoon, and the church board and myself. Thank you for checking in. Yes, the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. We're solid. All right. Well, without further ado, our second hymn is For the Earth Forever Turning. It's number 163 in the Gray Hymnal. We will be singing all 4 verses. The lyrics will be projected. Please rise in body or spirit as you're able.
Okay, as we prepare to return to the world, we remind ourselves through our affirmation to carry our work from this place to every corner of our lives. Please join me in the call and response. Love is the doctrine of this church.
We are here to love.
The quest of truth is its sacrament.
We are here to learn.
Service is its prayer.
We are here to care for others.
To dwell together in peace.
We are here to live in peace.
To seek knowledge and freedom.
We are here to honor our differences.
To serve humanity and fellowship.
We are all connected in spirit.
To the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine.
We are here to grow.
Thus we do covenant with one another.
This we promise to do together.
Okay, please join me in reciting the words to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains.
I leave you this morning with this as benediction. May you find questions more profound than answers, play more proficient than mastery, vulnerability more powerful than invincibility, supplication more productive than control, and a peace that passeth all understanding. Go in peace.